members of B1039, Up North Radio, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Time for Curries Corner, brought to you by Big Rapids Pennzoil and Auto Repair, Seth Winger at the Winger Insurance Agency, Gilbert's Carpets Plus Color Tile, Barrington Firearms and Training Center, DW2 Drywall,
the Monk Janowitz Funeral Home in Big Rapids, and the Janowitz Family Funeral Home in Remus.
Morning, Bobby. Good morning,
Hi
Bobby.
there.
We are 7 minutes late. Co-host Rex Schuberg with me here. We got a lively show, but before we get started, the reason we're a little bit late streaming this and putting it on Facebook is I wanted to honor my good friends, the Harleys. Again, Charlie Harley, as most of you know, his wife Val passed away last Monday unexpectedly. But they were doing what they love to do, and that they were up north at their cottage and having a great time with family and friends. And the good Lord asked her to come home and be around the throne tonight. So this past week, it's been a tough one for that family. And I was thinking, what song could I play Tuesday that she would want to have their children listen to, grandchildren listen to, her boys and her husband Charlie? What would she want in words in a song? And I said to Bob, let's do a Leanne Rimes, I Hope You Dance. So for you folks that didn't hear the prelude this morning, you can get on and listen to that song, and I'm pretty sure Val would want that song. The words were fitting to what she would say to her family. Peace with all of you Harleys, and our thoughts and prayers are with you once again. Good morning, Bob. How are you? You're playing with your radio stuff over there.
Yeah, well, I'm making sure our stream is streaming.
Yeah.
So
well, you say to yourself, how can I go from a sober moment to a happy moment? Well, why wouldn't you be happy when I got my good friend, younger than I, Rex Schuberg.
Absolutely.
We didn't play ball together in football, basketball, or track or anything like that in high school because he worked selling the Pioneer. We had him on last week. You folks probably watched it last week. It was a fun-filled hour and a half. I knew it would go too fast. So he's going to be on the next couple of weeks, maybe more than that. Maybe he'll make this, and he should be in it. You know, a lot of times we wait until somebody goes on, and then, we're going to give him that Distinguished Dead Award. You know, I mean, we're going to, his family's going to like this award. Well, you know what? As I said that, I thought of Bob Horn because we gave him the Alumni Distinguished Award, and I still have that picture in my garage hanging up there. I see it every day. Dolores and Bob, and you're in it. Yeah. You're in it, the family and everybody. So anyway, Rex has even got a bigger award than that. He's in there with some pretty good clout there. Rex, I'm going to let you talk about it.
Did they announce that?
Yeah, it's on Facebook and all over.
Yeah,
nope,
I missed
you
it.
and Jeff Pierce and about 6 of you, I think? 6 or 8?
Yeah, I'll have to check it. I had the athletic program.
Yeah.
And the university, for that matter.
Yeah. Well, you got a nice little penthouse up above your insurance company there, and you've done a great job. I think Mike Stillwell did that for you, didn't he?
Yes, yep. He was the main contractor for sure.
Yeah, and every year I know you.
Metal roof, and I can pretty much point around to the various dents. Some are New Year's, some are Tony's, the football party up there, but I pretty much know where most of them came from.
Yeah, and then did you have one for the volleyball too, Tia, or any of the other ones? Did you? You probably have them up there, but
no.
But you've had her up there probably in all of whoever's
no.
one. No. Well, I know you support that.
That can't happen, but I'm not going to sit here and say yes
but
when
you,
they have.
No, I appreciate that. But you're one of the few Big Rapids people back in the day would go to all the volleyball games to support them.
I did. I gave a fire-up talk to Jill Hershinger's team one time before they played volleyball.
Yeah.
And that was fun to do. It's a hard thing for a coach to have to do that every game and so forth. So, but that was a fun experience.
Yeah. During the program here, we talked. Did you say you're going to be on next week or not? You're going to be gone.
I think I'm going to be gone. Yes.
Okay.
I hadn't talked to you about that.
All right. Well,
announce that, but yes.
Well, then we're going to enjoy the day. Rex and I talked last week after the show about Rudy Grayhack, Dynamite the Clown. Rex was a very dear friend of his in later years, and his dad was a very good friend of his in the earlier years, and my dad was too, and there's a lot of stories. I want you to go ahead and...
but he was really good at what he did, and so he was recognized in the service, and he is the he always liked to say this. He says he's the only guy that has a full-blown full colonel mowing his lawn, and that was his son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
His son was a
and
colonel?
you think how many colonels are out there mowing somebody else's lawn? I think only one, and that's Rudy's son.
Really?
Yeah.
How old would he be now? You know at all? I mean, Vietnam days, or was he?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that.
Because have to be Vietnam days. Huh. And then old Rudy was in World War II. For you folks that didn't know Rudy, Rex is going to expand on that a little bit, how old he was when he passed, and the history about him a little bit. He was a clown for many, many years. I think he was even on TV 9 and 10 for the show, wasn't he, on TV for a while there?
He did parades all over Michigan, and some of the big ones up there in the Mackinac cities for the bridge and all these others. But he did the Ferris's homecoming since 1958.
Wow.
And so,
you took him through the last one, didn't you?
He's not there. We know where he's at. They can't get into any more detail than that, but he recovered from that and then went down to his daughter's place.
Boy, being a clown, it would be...
He went into Willie Nelson's motorhome.
Really?
Yeah. They think he might have parked over a skunk hole or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I bet he did.
It was a little skunky.
I bet it was. Oh, Bob's over here smiling. Get a picture of Bob smiling there. Or do you have gas?
No, I break the camera.
Oh, okay.
To have Willie Nelson want to meet you, he thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
But going through the parade route, he'd have like 15 roses, get him 15 roses all set from Patterson's, and to pass out on the parade route.
Yep.
And he'd always save the last rose for the sorority, which is kitty corner from the block of the library. And it was a big deal. There's 60 gals, and he's got one rose, like these shows. Who's gonna get the rose? And he goes, yep. He says, I'm partial to blondes because I married 2 of them. They got a big charge out of that. And then he gives the rose to this one blonde gal, and she blushed, and the whole sorority. I mean, for the rest of that day and beyond, she was like their homecoming queen.
Oh, yeah.
For that. But yeah, he's the parades and the amount of time that.
Maybe it's personal, but what did you guys talk about when he was sitting there, Rex? Did he say how great a life he's had?
We talked about you, Pat.
That was not great.
That pretty much filled our docket right there.
Yeah.
And so
it was mostly just smiling and laughter, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and taking him around, introducing him to the various groups. But
did your mother ride with him one year?
She did.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Now there was 2 clowns together then.
Oh yeah.
Your mother was just lively as heck.
Oh yeah.
She loved it.
She just celebrated. We celebrated her 96th birthday. On Sunday, June 1st. Yeah.
That was her birthday? It's actual June 1st?
Yeah.
Darn it. I should have had it on my sign. I'm going to put it up and then just give her a belated birthday then.
Well, that's all right. We'll take care of it. We got her right here on the radio.
Oh, we do?
We just mentioned her.
Are we going to call her?
Radio.
Is she good enough to talk to? You think we could call her?
Sure. Here, just a second.
Let's give her a call, Bob.
Here, I got her. I got her right here.
All right.
Yes, hi, Pat.
Oh, hi.
How are you doing?
Good, Katie. How's your day going?
Thanks for letting me be on the show.
Well, yeah, you turned 96 years old,
Yeah, 96. I can hardly believe it.
Did Rodney have a big party for you? Rodney there?
No, these guys, they didn't. But it was nice.
Yeah. Any special present from Rex?
Yes, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, so it was special.
It's been nice being here, Pat, but I've got to go to the bathroom now, so I got to have a stool.
Well, that's 2 of us. We're going to take a break then.
No, that's what it's like getting older.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Thanks for coming, Mom. Hey, take care. Glad to see you.
Thanks, Katie. We appreciate that. That was Katie Schuberg. Talking about going back to the Hall of Fame at Ferris, Jeff Pierce is getting in there.
Yes.
And, we should call him Bob today and put him on here a little bit. What do you think, Rex? We could probably call Jeff and see if he's out of bed yet. But for folks that don't know Rex, everybody knows Rex. Jeff Pierce, he was a football coach for many, many years here in Big Rapids. He coached undefeated team back in '95, I think it was.
Let me see if I
95.
can't.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can't get him on the phone here.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, hey, Pat, how you doing?
Good, Rex. Jeff. How are you? Yeah.
Doing pretty good. I do have the phone ringing though. This time I thought.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. How are you doing?
You got to put it right up to the mic there.
You're on the radio right now on Pat's Corner, Curries Corner.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Pat.
Hey, I apologize. We've had things going on here in Big Rapids. We appreciate that. But I was just talking to Rex. Last week we had him on the radio, and this week, and unfortunately next week he was supposed to, but he unfortunately can't be. But anyway, so we're going to try to pack it all in an hour and a half this morning. So much for Big Rapids. And, right alongside you, your wife Susie deserves to be in there too, but unfortunately it's just a man thing, I think. But anyway, just a little joke there. But anyway, pretty... Yeah, I know. Well, I get away with it.
Max, just put the bottom of the phone right at the microphone there, or else. Or you can give me the number and I can call him on the studio. That might be easier.
Okay.
Jeff will do that. We'll call you on the studio phone.
Jeff.
So I just need the number and I'll give
Call you right back. And meantime, we'll take a break here
let's
at
do that.
10 to 9.
All right.
And Jeff, we're going to be calling you back here in a
I got
minute.
a roll for you too, Jeff, just so you know.
Here we go.
There you go. Well, let's thank our sponsors.
You got it.
I'm Seth Wenger from Wenger Insurance. For more than 100 years, we've been providing professional service and competitive insurance to West Michigan. Come visit us on Perry Street in Big Rapids or give us a call at 796-0778.
Generations. They do take care of every family like their own. And they hear it time and time again.
My name is Christina Beers. I would say there's lots of funeral homes in the area, but there's only a small few that can do it with class and with quality and with that personal touch.
There's most.
Gilbert's Carpets Plus, color time. Stop and shop with us for a while.
Gilbert's Carpets Plus is a family-owned and when you need it, find the perfect look for less. Let your cash make a splash and a flash with Gilbert's Cash and Carry products. Gilbert's Carpets Plus, located just south of Ferris on Northland Drive in Big Rapids. Call us today, 231-796-2700.
Gilbert's Carpets Plus, color time. Stop and shop with us for a while. Gilbert's is there for you.
There you go. I like that, Gilbert's Carpet Plus. They have the best ad, don't they? Did I do that one?
Yeah, I think you sang it. Yeah.
Hey, I got Rex Schuberg with me this morning at Curries Corner, and nobody more fitting than having old Rexy on here. He can talk about like anybody at all, anybody. Anyway, we got Jeff Pierce, Coach Pierce, from the great days of Ferris football, which they are continuing. But he started something back in the day. We were getting beat up pretty good there, and Jeff put together a great group of guys, and I can't mention them all, but Jeff probably will. One is Ed Filion. I went on to play in Buffalo, and then whatever, and then Monty Brown.
Yeah.
Monty Brown. I remember those two turned it around that night at Ferris State. I was with Norm Turner on the side.
I think he has the radio on. Jeff, you got to turn the radio off because we're on a delay.
Okay, Jeff, you there? Did you hear what I just said? You there?
I can hear Pat talking in the distance.
Okay. I'm in the distance. Okay, you want me to sing that song? Anyway, we're going to try to get it. How many games did you go undefeated in regular season? Go ahead and answer it, Rex. You got a good voice. You can be Jeff.
Please, Pat.
Too many. We're trying to get some difficulties straightened out here, folks. So until then, we're going to take a break. Hi, I'm Pat, and he's Rex.
Yep, we'll do that. Okay.
No, I'm just teasing you. We're going to try to figure out what we got going here, Jeff.
I can hear you clear, but I can hear Pat in the distance.
Oh, okay.
Really? Okay.
Well, then you ask him the question. No, you ask him the question, Bob.
There you go. Take it away.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right, we're going to play this song, and we'll be right back. No, I'm only kidding you. I can hear you now. Anyway, okay. Jeff, I was just complimenting you on the part of history of Ferris State football back in the 90s, how you turned the program around from getting beat up or being, 5-5 to, your undefeated string of wins. Well, I guess they're all undefeated when there's strings of wins. But anyway, Ed Fillion, Monty Brown, Richards. Billy Love was a quarterback. We had Jeff Smith later on. But anyway, I had a lot of relationships with a lot of your ball players, as you well know.
Yeah.
Kurt Dabowski, all of them. But anyway, you went and started your string. I'll never forget it. Prove me if I'm wrong, but your string started when you beat Hillsdale that night at Bulldog Field, right?
Well, to be honest with you, my memory.
And then, anyway, but I think it was at Hillsdale. How many games in a row did you win? Like 20-some, 25, 27?
It was almost 5 years of regular season football games.
Right.
That attention for sure.
Yeah, you did.
It was nice to see the people that we had involved, and everybody was focused together. And once we got into that groove and got that confidence going on, there was a number of good leaders that went through. And I mean, I just kind of hide in the UP at my cabin and chase deer around and
I've been
go
there.
fishing and actually I'm going to be starting a little farming here, in about 2 weeks. So, it's been great to be involved with the people that I've had an opportunity to be involved with. The people from the community really supported things. We tried to do things at the beginning to make it where people wanted to be at Top Taggart Field, and with the development of the Wheeler Pavilion and all of that stuff that was all started in those days, people would take a look at and say, I think I might want to be part of that, and try to get their attention, and then try to convince them that it was an organization that they could winning more competitions, and that's in their careers.
Yeah.
You see how these guys are doing so well.
Well, you guys really got involved with the community, and I saw that who was being inducted, a lot of people coming up there. I remember her spending most of her life at that point taking the parents in of the kids that played for you, or young men that played for you. She got to know each one of those one by one. I remember her spending a lot of time with those parents, and so she should also be getting recognized that night. You ought to just pull a little plug for her, but I know she did a lot with the community, and hey, she was in the celebrity race in the mud that night. We almost called it off.
That was a great
Rainbow,
race.
remember that, Rex?
Yeah.
Rex was in it, and not that year, but I remember her going out, and Bob Hurst wanted to call it off, and I said, "You can't call it off. Susie Pierce would kill us." So she came out there and raced a great race. I can't remember who won that night, but it didn't matter. They all won that night. They all
enjoying all of the great relationships, and we were able to find a way to win football games, do things the right way, and watch young men develop, and that's what it's all about.
Now, Jeff, you know that they're building a dorm on the north end of the football field?
I heard some rumors about that, but I haven't seen specifics.
No, they're doing it. And once they get that thing built and they have a home game, I'm going to talk to some of those students up there and rent out a floor. We'll have a big get-together up there. We'll only do it once because the campus will probably shut it down.
I imagine
but anyway, yeah, that's going to be quite a sight to have a dorm. It'd be, for the people there, that'd be quite a spot to view the game from.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's great. Yeah,
we're at the top of the hour, so we got to take a break.
The changes that have been made and improvements that have been made.
That's all right. But anyway, Jeff, it's top of the hour. We're at 103.9. Be in front of the new
Big Rapids.
There you go. Is that good, Bob? That's all we have to do? Hallelujah. All right. So anyway, Bob, we lose Coach?
Yeah, you got to talk on that mic again.
Oh.
Sorry. We got to work that out.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and work that out?
Well, it's going to have to be after the show.
Well, anyway, when is it? When you guys being inducted? So people know. Does anybody know? Bob, do you know when the induction is for the... nobody seems to know.
It's August.
Oh, is it in August? Okay.
It's the night before their first game.
Oh, okay.
That much I know, but I don't know the date
Sure.
right offhand.
plenty of time to find out. But anyway, it should be a great night. It's a great privilege to know both you guys, and it's kind of nice when people in Big Rapids here, a little town of Big Rapids, has two guys that Rex has been like. They were kind of happy to see you come back up there, but we were sad to see both you guys leave. But you know what? We were grateful for the many years that you were here.
Yeah, and those things will never change. I mean, when you develop those kind of relations to raise your kids and be involved, and on the same token, I mean, get to know people like you guys, and I want to congratulate Rex, for being inducted into the Hall of Fame also. That's well-deserved. And actually, Rex and I were teammates at one point on the track team. I spent 1 year as a pole vaulter my freshman year.
Wow, did you know that, Rex? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I'll be
I
darned.
forgot about that, but that's good. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were a pole vaulter?
Yeah, I was a pole vaulter and a sprinter, but I learned after the first year I was not talented enough to try to be able to do both. So, my next year when I saw the bus roll out of town.
Was your degree. So you went up to a small town, and just in 5 minutes, tell that story, how you turned that football town, or turned that town into a football town that was never ever meant to be. It's pretty interesting what he did, Rex, with this community that he went to teach, and they didn't really have a football program, didn't have much equipment, actually didn't have anything going. Right, Coach?
Yeah.
What was the name of that town?
That was it was Big Baby Knock High School, and that was in on the Garden Peninsula between Manistee and Escanaba.
Right.
And they had football. At least they said that if they had football. I mean, they had numbers, but that was one number I could never get out of my mind. It was 786 to 0. Ended up taking that job as a school teacher and football and track coach. And we had our first practice, and there were 15 boys out for football. And that was through the whole high school.
Wow.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And there's no way. I mean, that's from freshmen all the way up to seniors.
Right.
So it took a while. And my last year there, we had over half the boys in the high school playing football. There was close to 48 kids playing, and we were winning football games and stuff like that. But you just got to look at the situation, and everything's different, and you got to figure out how you can make it happen there, or wherever you're at, and go to work.
Yeah.
But it's all about people. You have to have people believe in what you're doing and believing in it. I headed back to Big Rapids and started my 30-some years of being a Big Rapids resident.
Wow, 30-some.
Yeah, that's great. So, you ended the
and I still get kids from that era that contact me and stuff like that. So that was a situation that I was able to learn a lot for my future. On trying to take on challenges and figure out, what needs to be done and what do you need to do to try to make things better one step at a time. And
Rex is trying to do that too, aren't you?
Yes.
What would Rodney say, Rex, to Jeff right now about his career that he had?
Well, I just wish that I was around to play more for you there, Jeff. I guess I tell you what, I can haul water just as good as anybody.
Sounds like a Bob Davis helping you there, eh?
It sounds like he's talking in Youper.
There you go. Yeah. Well, thanks for answering your phone this morning, and I'll get back to you on our conversation for the other day that we're having. Yeah. And then it sounds like we're going to have a good reunion up north, eh?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Is the snow gone?
At the mercy of Mother Nature, so you have to have a plan B and a plan C and so forth, because if the wind's blowing, there's times that you don't want to be fighting with that.
Looking undercover for the DNA. Well, they watch that Maury Povich show, and they hear DNA. I tell you what, they drop their weapons and skedaddle. I mean to tell you, it works every time.
Yeah. Yes, for her. She's home every other weekend with her consulting work and stuff like that. And when I drop her off at the airport, I'm usually heading up there to either feed the deer or put a fish shanty out on Lake Superior. And
not during the day.
yeah.
That's his. Well, I said, how are we going to shoot them? Because these spotlights don't work during the day. It doesn't freeze them like it does at night.
Yeah, took a while to figure that one out. I hear you.
But he is being honest. He might be talking on Rodney, but I got an idea that him and the other boys out there in Chippewa area, they didn't fall off the tree too far.
Yeah.
No. Well, thanks, Rex. Yeah, thanks, Rex. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, we'll keep in touch, all right?
Yeah.
Bobby, there you go.
Thanks for the phone call this morning. You made my day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
All right, there you go. That was Coach Pierce from the great days of Ferris football. Well, I keep saying that, but we got a greater days now. I mean, they've won 3 national championships with the group they got up there now.
For sure.
What do you think is going to happen, Rex, with the portals going on and all that?
You know, I mean, Michigan, they robbed us of one of our linemen, and Trinidad, he's gone. I mean, that's just the sort of the reality of where we're at now. But Tony and his coaches, they do a tremendous job recruiting. And then once they have the recruits
He does recruit a lot in Western Michigan. And he gets some pretty good boys from Muskegon area and Grand Rapids and Ludington, Manistee. He gets them from all over, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And they're pretty all excited. And then most of those boys are overlooked by Division I, but they end up being like Division I players, don't they? Those guys, and that's why Division I's coming after them.
Yeah, I think you win the Division II national championship. Right. You got some Division I players on your team, no question about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Zach Sealer. They retired his jersey just a while back, and he was the Dan Marino Award, which is the MVP for the Miami Dolphins.
I know
the defensive lineman and the Ferris grad.
I mean, friends of yours and actually clients of yours, the coaches at Ferris. You've known most all of them, haven't you? Have you met the new basketball coach yet?
I have not.
Is his name Patrick? I can't remember. Bob, you met him, haven't you, Bob? Oh, he's a great sheriff, but he's even better getting people in here on the shows. And he had that Brett in here, and he is very remarkable history of family. His grandpa coached the 1960 Gold Cup Olympic champions in 1960.
Wow.
His grandpa did.
Wow.
And then
that's cool.
Yeah. And then he cut. Dad said to him after all those years, well, I guess he cut the right guy because he won the championship with what he had. Wow. What do you think?
You should know the basketball. His name's Bobby. So that's
Bobby, yeah.
Bobby. You could say Patrick. It's spelled P-I-E-T-R-A-C-K. Pie-track.
About me, unlike Brian notifies people like a week or two in advance. I usually call the day of, or the day before.
Whoever's sitting in the gas station at that moment. Yeah,
I've done that.
Yeah, I know you have.
The mayor's done it several times.
Yeah.
I've asked him to come on. Okay, I suppose Randy Bleeker's been one of my guests there in the Spirit, you or whoever, and then you as represented Big Rapids very well. You're a very good insurance man. I had you for many, many years. You always took care of me very well. We were very fortunate to have a person like you. Now, enough blowing smoke up you.
Yeah,
you speak your mind, but you've done it. You've been around for a long, long time, and you have always been a positive in Big Rapids, downtown. You're out there, and like I remember Marianne Menahall and I and Debbie Hicks there, we're an alumni board, and we're talking about having a bigger venue and a better place to go, and you came up with the downtown. I said, wow, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, the venue at the high school sort of ran its course because it was a new high school, and I mean, and it got down to the point where it was like, I think 25 people up there, and 12 of them didn't know where they were at.
Right. We shipped them in. Yeah, that's true. But you've done a great job directing us that way, and I think this is our 5th year, is it? 5th or 6th?
Yeah, with that all-class reunion. That's really worked well, and a lot of classes schedule their class reunions around that.
Yeah,
Big Rapids, we're pretty much on a 5-year cycle with that, but that's wonderful.
Yeah, This year I hope to. I don't know if he'll make it or not, but I invited Tom Jones to sing there.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know if he'll be there or not, though.
By all means.
Yeah. So if Tom Jones shows up, bring your underwear, ladies.
There you go. But you did you start the Pocket Park?
I worked on that. I think Marlise Manning was really the inspiration for that, and the pergola there, to have a pergola, and it was just a perfect spot, and it was. But yes, definitely worked on that.
Yeah, you were on the downtown development.
We brought in the music is what we started.
That's what I mean.
Every Friday.
You did that.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
We'd bring in the music, and it was sort of tied in with the farmer's garden.
Yeah.
And that was all based on the reports that this couple did for Big Rapids downtown. This is what you need. These are the things you should. Let's be progressive about it.
Yeah.
And that's been wonderful. That's still going on today. The Pocket Park on Fridays noon. It should be starting up pretty soon.
Yeah.
And the bandshell series down at the bandshell, that's going to be coming up here as well.
Well, you started that.
And they did not want a bandshell because there's drugs, alcohol, and rock and roll. And I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't have been conceived if it wouldn't have been for drugs, alcohol, and Elvis Presley. I'm just saying. But so what's it going to look like? We don't know, but they'll design it. But we can't have these students spend 5 minutes on this if it's not in your vision. And how are you gonna pay for it? Well, form a committee and we'll raise the money. Where's it gonna be? Well, we'll pick out some spots and let you decide, which the students did. I thought it'd be really nice down there by the tennis courts, but the reality of it is the noise from the Maple Street Bridge. That wasn't a good spot.
Oh, sure.
And so it is where it is now. And then, so finally it got, and then I stood on my chair. And I says, I know it's getting deep in here now, but I'm down to my last card.
Yeah.
And they laughed, and then they said, okay, you got the green light. But my last card.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't play that card, but I think I might have been, if I would have been desperate, I'd have played it softly, but come on here. And ironically, because it was a Steve Jones, the nominational mass for the 150th. Oh, ye of little faith. I'm sorry, but that was just sort of like, come on, guys.
Right.
But it's been a wonderful asset to the community, and it's great to see it being used.
Oh, yeah.
My son Tyler and Marcy, they were actually married there.
Really?
They're not the only ones. Somebody asked me, did you build this bandshell chariot so you could have a spot for your son to get married?
Oh, my Lord.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's exactly why I did it.
I love it.
Since I have the right ears in town here, I've been wanting to do movies down there. And I can't write there, but a sit-in movie.
Oh.
Get an inflatable screen and put it in the band shell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that would be very cool.
Yeah, that would be neat.
So.
Yeah, people would like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been anybody who'd listen, but it never got off the ground. So if anybody,
I've never heard you say that, Bob.
Well,
in fact, you don't speak on the show very often.
I usually don't.
I'm going to time you.
Yeah, thank you.
More time.
Well, I'll shut up again. That's the last.
No, don't shut up. When did you bring that up to? Who did you bring it up to?
I brought it up some people in town.
Who'd that be?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, think of a name. Names. Say it's me. I'll forget it.
Yeah.
But what do you think, Rex? That wouldn't be bad, would it?
Oh, I think that would be nice. There's been a lot of different venues down there, and then especially now with the splash pad and the new playground. Good thing, Pat, because I mean to tell you, this age discrimination. You don't want any of that.
No, I wouldn't do that, Rodney. You know
all those
that.
Over a certain age and a certain weight have to put a T-shirt on.
Have you seen it, Rex?
Major roles in making that happen, and John Coles. I mean to tell you, hats off to him.
Oh, I love the guy.
Sharing that project.
See, I wanted him to be mayor, and he just didn't feel he had the time with me. We had him on the show. He's got a remarkable life story on him. I was really intrigued by listening to him that day. He told us from where he came from, Canada originally, his mom and dad, and they came to
the pickleball courts there. How is Pete anyway? He updated.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up. I was going to bring him up to end the show just in the last 10 seconds, but now that you brought him up, we'll give him a couple of minutes here. As everyone knows, Pete and Lucy are a staple of this community for many, many years, 87 years going strong. For you that don't know him, he's on the school board. He's the longest tenured school board member in the history of Big Rapids, which he's been on there for 87 years. He was in diapers when he started. He's in diapers when he ends. But anyway, he unfortunately was in a bad accident. Lucy was driving out there on Water Tower, that's by Bob Evans, and unfortunately she didn't see the car that T-boned her and sent Pete to Grand Rapids. He's in Mary Free Bed right now recuperating. He's got the best nurses. I talked to him last night. He said the food down there is very good. That's good to hear. He likes food, by the way. And he said the care that he's given is very good. So Mary Free Bed, God bless you for taking care of our good friend Pete. I don't see him coming home real quick. He's in an awful lot of pain, he said. And, he's had open heart, and he's had cancer, and he's had all kinds of things go wrong with him. But he's like a cat with 9 lives. He's a human with 12. And he said he's all done with Mercedes-Benz, so hats off to Mercedes-Benz, no more sales to Pete. This is the second Mercedes-Benz that he's totaled. The first one had 4 brand new tires on it, a month old, and a brand new tank full of gas. This one, the same story, brand new tires put on it, and a tank of gas, and totals it. So he said he'll never fill up another tank, and he'll never buy new tires.
Yeah,
so
there
he's
you go.
Done doing that. But that was only humor. But we love you, Pete. But nobody sits in that chair. And if they do, and he pulls up, they get out of the chair and move. It's like King Kong, King's here, get out of his chair.
Unlike here, where Rex is sitting in Pete's chair.
Which was one of probably the most thoughtful guys in Big Rapids. He gave a lot to the community. So it's kind of hard to emulate a dad like that. And like myself, I had a guy come up to me one day. I was pumping LP gas and be like my dad. So none of us were as good as my dad, you might say. But you, Rex, you never emulated your dad. You were your own self.
Well, right.
Your dad wasn't you at all. If anything, you emulate your mother a little bit for the spirit part. But your dad was a great guy, and he was very successful, and his dad was but none of you Schubergs tried to emulate.
But you look at, whoever said that to you, I think they were way out of bounds, because you look at what you and your sons have done for the harness racing, that celebrity, the funds, the probably $500,000 or more raised for charities. I mean, your dad couldn't say he did that.
Well, but your dad and my dad, saying. I know. Thank you, Rex. That was very kind. Now we're going to blow smoke up.
Well, let's talk.
No, but let's talk about our dad. Hour. No, there's nothing wrong with being proud of your dad. I will say this. My dad and his dad started the Chamber of Commerce. They started it right down there by, I don't even know where the first meeting was, but they ended up being by the Dairy Queen. And then my dad was instrumental, and I'm pretty sure your dad was on board too with it, United Way.
Yeah.
My dad was on the chaired that the first few years and got it going. And there was a lady from Mount Pleasant, I think, that came over here and thought, any of us really, we just tried our best, haven't we? And you've done it your way.
Right.
You've done it, and we can play that song.
My way?
Not now. I did it my way. Elvis Presley, right? Rex, who is your best band?
Boy, that's a tough one.
He had a winner last week, so
No, but who is your if you had and bring him back into the world today? That's gone.
I'll tell you what, the Beatles and John Cougar Mellencamp and Gordon Lightfoot, and there's just so many. It's music's amazing.
Now, who was your best friends in high school? Because you graduated in '74, right?
Yeah. Well, I learned what the term uncouth meant. We didn't know what uncouth there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they called us, they must have called Lou Turco, and so he called us into his office and told us we were uncouth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, what grade were you in?
Between 6th, 7th,
Middle
and 8th.
school. Okay.
And but uncouth, when you say that to me now, uncouth means eating donuts in Citizen State Bank's lobby. You're uncouth if you do that.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I got.
And at what point do you
of that word?
What point do you become couth?
Yeah. I think that's if you share the donuts.
Gotcha.
Maybe with your employees. Had we done that,
so thank you for being very couth this morning.
If we had bought some extra donuts and given them to the employees, they might have welcomed us.
How about elementary school? Who was your buddies back then?
Oh, geez, Steve Waldorf from they lived just down the alley from me.
Right. Okay.
And so he was as far as growing up.
Who was your kindergarten teacher? Go ahead.
I had Mrs. Kingsley.
Okay.
She taught kindergarten for a lot of years.
Riverview?
At River. they bused us over to Brookside.
Okay.
I'm not sure why they did that, but they bused us over there. But then after that, we just walked down to Riverview School because.
So
that probably was the only place that had kindergarten, maybe.
Now, everybody knows in the class book there, your Rapidonian, underneath it said future endeavors, and then it would say, what were you in your class? Were you the class clown?
I was the class clown.
You were?
Actually,
so you had that back in school?
Yes, I did. I did have that.
Yeah.
The student votes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the student. Right. How about your... in high school, what was your greatest memory? What would it be? In sports or in the classroom or teacher or something you did?
It involved the university.
Claustrophobic. Maybe that's why now I'm claustrophobic. We used to get 3 or 4 in there. And then old Roger Griffith would walk around, bang on the old trunk. Anybody in there? All right. Right.
But they had the swing set out there. I remember watching True Grit, the family. We went out there with John Wayne, and that was swing on the swing sets and watching.
All right, let me ask you, did you have the horse on the spring?
No, they did not.
No? I had the horse on the spring. That was before,
Yeah.
Now
those are pretty nice.
Yeah. No, we had a good playground at the drive-in. So.
Kind of, that's what's kind of sad about all this money. Our folks just didn't give us money. Like Rex said, earlier this last week, he was talking about his paper route. So that was your money, wasn't it? I mean,
and then a steer. Boy, when I sold, I had a steer in 4-H, and his name was Sirloin Rich. And oh man.
Where'd you keep him at then?
The farm.
Okay, right across the street from the house there.
Yeah, got up, did chores every morning at 6:30.
Do you have any great memories with a spiral staircase in your house? You had a spiral staircase that went downstairs.
At the house, and I'd shut it. And he's like, what the heck? And he'd go outside. He's looking around like, who's pushing the button? Well, he didn't see me on the stairway there. So I had fun messing with those guys.
Yeah, when that was pretty new to people, a stairway like that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It's kind of like, wow, this is cool.
Well, the nice thing about a spiral staircase is if you fall, you're not going to go very far. You'll get caught up in the wrought iron and all that crap.
Grab the pole and slide.
You never make it to the bottom.
You grew up next to Finley Lewis.
Yeah.
What was his dad's name? I can't remember now. Was
Larry.
it Finley? Larry, yeah.
Larry was Finley's dad. And Terry, he's a good friend of mine. I helped him work on his deer camp here just the other day with Carl Winquist and Gary's son Michael and his daughter, and we had a good 2-day project up there. It was a lot of fun.
The fence bordered your fence with horses.
Yes,
I remember that. You used to have a lot of horses out there.
They had the Lewis Fur Farms and also the Topper Dog Food.
Right.
And Larry was a millionaire when a millionaire was a millionaire. And the horses and then the glue factory folks, that was a pretty rough group there. But and then when basically dry dog food.
He made it right there?
No, but dry dog food put him out of business. Plus
that's interesting.
Why don't we take a quick break?
I think so.
Yeah, we'll do that. Come right back.
Be right back.
As we wrap things up on Curry's Corner.
Hi, this is Pat Curry. When I think of drywall, there's only one guy in town that I think of, and that's Dale 90475. Remember, DW2 Drywall.
Where do you go for Michigan's #1 concealed pistol license course? The same place thousands of Michigan residents have over the past 15 years, the Barrington Firearms Training Center. The BFTC conducts state-certified CPL courses right here locally inside the Barrington Conservation Club at 3444 18 Mile Road in Barrington. For just $99, all you need to bring us is your Michigan ID to these all-inclusive one-day CPL courses, which include the use of firearms, ammo, eye and ear protection, coffee and donuts in the morning, and lunch at noon. That's right, just $99 gets you everything needed to take the police department instructed course that includes the training necessary to safely load, unload, handle, and store your firearm. Students will also be trained on when it is legal to defend themselves with a firearm under Michigan's Stand Your Ground law and Castle Doctrine. Call 231-250-7257 or go online at michigancpltraining.com to register for one of their upcoming $99 all-inclusive CPL courses. Get armed, get trained at the Barrington Firearms Training Center.
Hey, I go to Curry's for dinner now, and I want to tell you something. Their sandwiches are incredible. But get the cheeseburger with caramelized onions. You won't ask where the beef is. We are open till 7 p.m.
All right, we are back, and here comes Pat.
Okay, I'm back, ready to rumble.
Home stretch.
Got Rex Schuberg with me here. We've had an interesting morning here. We talked to Jeff Pierce, coach of the 90s and early 2000 football at Ferris, and talked about him being inducted into the Ferris Hall of Fame along with Jeff and a few others from out of town, actually. But those two are townies, Jeff and Rex. Anyway, Rex, you've traveled... probably more than anybody I know. You love to ski, and you went some back problems there for a few years, and you couldn't get out, and I know that kind of depressed you, but you kept going strong, and now you're back healthy again. We're all glad of that. But what state would you say, if somebody's in Michigan, and we just love Michigan, but if somebody said, I want to go on vacation someplace that is just beautiful, is there a specific state you would...
Beautiful city, but the terrain, Grand Canyon's like 45 minutes away. And all of these, it has more national parks in there. The caves where the Indians would live, the natives, and they would go down. It was actually a little bit hair-raising there, but all these in lodges in cliffs where they would stay. And just a volcano area, park. I mean, it's beautiful.
Arizona, then.
Arizona,
wow,
of all places, because it's so diverse. It's so diverse. I mean, God, it does have almost everything there.
Really?
You couldn't get me to go to Phoenix at all. It's too hot, congested, and everything else. But Flagstaff is a hidden gem out there.
Wow, you better send that to Flagstaff.
Their Chamber of Commerce and let them know that.
I know it. Really, that's quite an ad for them, isn't it, Jen? Well, what did the Indians?
How about you? Where do you?
I loved Montana. I just was out there. But you know what? Now you asked me that. Unlike you, I really to pinpoint one state, because my trip, the wife and I and the Vaudrys went on. We went 2 weeks or a little bit more, maybe. We went out east. And through New York State, upstate New York's gorgeous. Yes. New Hampshire's gorgeous. Vermont is gorgeous. Then you get to Maine, Bar Harbor. It was just God's land out there. And that Gloucester, is it south of there, and Maine? No, that's in New York.
Nothing like a lobster roll.
Yeah. So that east, I've never been to Arizona, so I can't say that wouldn't be my top of my list. Like you say, it's so diverse. But there in United States, wouldn't you say we have? Because you've been to Europe, you've been to Sweden, you've been to
as Michigan. I love Michigan. I would never, the Four Seasons, the Great Lakes, Big Rapids specifically. I'm just lucky to have been blessed to have been born here. Is the way I feel, because you're an hour away from Grand Rapids, hour away from the ski resorts, hour away from Lake Michigan. 5 minutes to the boondocks. 10 minutes and you're on 2 tracks. I mean, you can't hardly beat that.
No. But we are very fortunate to live the life we've had. I think if I was to have to pick one, I'd probably have to go Montana. But I've never been to Arizona. But Montana, my brother moved out there 50 years ago probably, and never has been back. I mean, just for folks, or whatever. But to move back, I don't think he will. And I can see why. He lives on the rims out there, just below the airport, and it's just a big old wall there. And he oversees all the buildings, and he can see the Beartooth Mountains across there, which is like 50 miles, whatever. But like when he says open sky, he means big sky, that's for sure.
Yeah. A good friend of mine, Lars Hansen, he had Liquid Louie's out there. It's a bar.
Yeah, right. In Billings?
But no. It was. It's a real small Condon, Montana.
Oh, okay.
It's right off that Flathead Lake, which is huge.
Yeah. Up there, up by Kalispell in that area.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
it's about an hour from Kalispell.
Okay. Yeah. So you've been out there. You've been all over though.
Yeah.
How about your best?
His place was right at the base of the mountains there. It was just gorgeous.
Yeah. What, skiing wise, what state?
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Okay.
And, theirs is amazing. Colorado, Sunshine, if you want sunshine skiing.
Mm-hmm.
But Snowbird, I was out there when I was a sophomore in high school and opened up Snowbird ski resort in the 71-72 season. And A.J. Joby flew off the mountain on a kite deal. And ABC's Wild World of Sports filmed him. He landed on the roof of the place. And, had to tell the snow guests, and they all did pick him too. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
I know every year you make a trip out there with like your buddies Daryl Marvell, Doc Conrad, Joe Sender.
We haven't as of late, but boy, we sure to it. And so that was with some great times. Got Whistler, Blackcomb, British Columbia's got some amazing skiing there.
Oh yeah.
I was in the office working. I get a phone call from a guy. And we went and drove. Wolf Creek was the name of the bar he had, and we drove up there. And Jerry brought a T-shirt. I wish I would have. And but that was pretty cool to meet. And we didn't. We figured we were related, but didn't have any genealogy there.
Yeah, ancestors and stuff. And I said, well, yeah, we come out of Canada. And I says, I know we're related. He goes, how's that? His name was John. He looked just like my brother John. Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
I mean, they could be twins. I said, my God.
Pranks or anything like that. I've done pranks in my lifetime, but,
Right. Well, want to expand on one of them pranks?
Yeah,
or
I'm just trying to think here, but
Rodney or
there's been some. I can't think of
I
anything.
know. What would you do different downtown right now, Rex, if you were the manager and said, I'm a pipe dreamer here and I'm going to have this done
Well,
down here?
I just hope that we can get the movie theater. I've heard, drum beats that we're going to get our movie theater back, which would be great. It would be nice.
Did boom, because they did. Our J.C. Penney's did real well. They were all profitable. Yeah. They had some great managers in there, and gosh, I went shopping there all the time.
Kleins and Bonds back in the day. I worked for Bill Homerding when I was going to school at Fair. Those guys come to open up at 9. And they see us, we're just they were hustling to get their stuff out quick to take advantage of the crowd.
Yeah.
But everybody thought he
the big what was the store in Parker went over and worked for?
Bonds.
Yeah, Bonds. Yeah, Bonds. That was a big department or clothing store, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we had a lot of clothing stores in Big Rapids, but now
they sold material. I bought some material. I had Carol, my senior year in high school, last semester, I had the choice between freshman girls' home economics or chemistry. Well, I am not stupid. I took freshman girls' home economics.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, darn right I did. And my buddies all sort of laughed at me, and I'd walk. I had my home ec book, and then when they found out we made cottage cheese pizzas, and you take an English muffin, pizza sauce, one pepperoni and some cheese on that. Put it in a toaster oven, which had just came out. Toaster ovens had just early 70s just came out, and oh man, we had it made. But I went into Vaughn's and bought my material for a robe, learned how to sew, made the robe, but I got a good grade on it, but it was discounted because the pocket, which was a nice double stitched pocket, was down about calf level. And I remember Carol Tracy says, well, God, you can use that for a bottle of Galliano, which is those really tall bottles. But that was a good experience there. But Vaughn's, they had the materials. They had all sorts of stuff in Big Rapids down then. But, now the main shopping area is Perry. You can't argue with that. It's just so, bigger stores and so forth.
If you were a teacher, Rex, and you're in front of a bunch of students in a business class, what would you tell them?
I've gone down to the high school and talked with them. And then the second is to shake hands. How to shake a hand. And sometimes I'll just give them a limp hand, and then it's sort of, they're like, whoa, see, I'm showing them how not to do it. But to look somebody, to shake their hand and look them in the eye, and have a firm, not a crushing, but a firm handshake, and look the person in the eye. That is, those two things right there would be starters.
Yep. I know.
You know, I read this morning. I had it on the show that, and I was looking up just to confirm, 30% of young men do not own a suit, or only 30% own a suit. The other 70% do not. The fact that 70% of young people do not own a suit was a little jarring.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. That's an interesting.
Yeah, it is. Over the course of my time, I've hired a lot of people, and I always tell them to be yourself, but try to emulate.
Have turned into casual every day.
I know.
And then you see shorts and
pajamas,
and it's just sort of like, wow. But when the person puts on a shirt and a tie, whether it be a suit or not, but a shirt and a tie, then they've stepped up their game. They feel it, and they
Barry Manilow song there.
But
looks like we made it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, what else is there to conclude our show with, except for our condolences to the ones that have lost life, and our prayers go to these young kids that are out there struggling. Thank God every day I have grandchildren that are healthy. I don't know how I could handle it, Rex. And just like you got some great grandchildren. You're having fun with them, aren't you? All of them are good athletes, aren't they?
Yeah. The youngest just graduated from high school, or the oldest.
Oldest.
Yeah. He graduated.
Is that Kyle's?
Evan from Zealand. And he's coming to Ferris. He's going to be in the cyber security.
Really?
And he's got a friend that's coming here too. And I am so excited because now I got some labor.
Right.
I've got some wood to cut. I got stuff to haul. Yeah. And with two of them, that's even better.
And then the thing that they're excited about is Papa's got a nice little penthouse up above Schuberg's for us.
No, I don't.
But he was pretty good in high school, wasn't he?
Yeah, he sure was.
Yeah, you went down to a lot of his games.
I sure do.
Track boy?
Football.
Oh, football.
And golf.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so you'll like that golf, and you can.
Yeah, we'll get a chance to do some golf, and so that was cool. I got some pictures with both of them, and a picture of the two of them, which is nice.
Yeah, she's a pretty good athlete, isn't she?
Oh yeah, Jalen, she sure is, and Vash is too.
Yeah,
he's an 8th grader. He'll be in high school next year.
Wow, goes fast.
I ran out of those were the only 2 songs last week.
Yeah, those wouldn't go.
Although we did find Vince Gill's "It's Hard to Kiss the Lips at Night That Chewed My Ass All Day." And shout out to you, Wendell. Hope you have a great day out there. And the rest of everybody.
And pray for Mama.
Yeah.
Katie's doing well, but
she's doing awesome.
96 years old. Down there doing a great job. He's got a great group of guys, 10-minute oil change. Might take 11, but whatever it takes them, they do a great job down there at Pennzoil. Wenger Insurance, Seth does a great job. DW2 Drywall, you can't be, Todd and Gordy down there at the vet clinic. A little north of that on the east side of the road is Carpet and Color Tile, America's Floor Store, Gilbert's Carpet. Yeah, the boys do a great job there. And of course, we want to thank B103, everybody here, Dom and Jan, letting us have a mic for an hour and a half. Bob, especially you for starting us up.
Curries Corner.
Brought to you by Big Rapids Pennzoil and Auto Repair. Seth Winger at the Winger Insurance Agency. Gilbert's Carpets plus Color Tile. Barrington